Hey, it's Anthony here from Semi-Informatic, and today we're going to play The Witness. Let's get started. The Witness is a game by Jonathan Blow, who previously developed Braid, and probably some other games I should know about. And at the heart of it, The Witness is this. There you go, you finished the game. Well done. But wait, it gets harder. I know you're thinking that if this is all it is, just maze puzzles, I'm not going to have much fun with this game, but bear with me, it gets better. Or it gets more complicated, to the point where I feel dumb playing it at times. So that is really all The Witness is, just these style of puzzles, but with a couple of twists thrown in. There's a lot of following cables to see where they go. There's a lot of puzzles that are blocked, like this. So you have to remove some kind of obstacle in order to proceed. So let's follow a cable. Let's follow this one. Previously, Jonathan Blow also said that World of Warcraft was exploitative, and I remember being upset at him at the time, because I played World of Warcraft, but now I'm not playing it anymore. I can kind of see his point. Right, well, this one we can start from either location, and a clever maze runner would look at the maze first and try to figure out where they should go, but that's not for me. Actually, they say you should start from the end and work your way backwards. That's cheating. Alright, so that's one. It obviously did something. We can hear it doing something. So let's remove one of these blocks. So let's see if we can't get the rest of them off. So we follow this one. You know, I can see he's not turned on yet. There's another cable going up here. I guess to there. He's not turned on yet. Maybe this one will start it. Generally, if you just do all the puzzles in an area, that's a pretty good way to get started. Alright. You can play with the mouse or the controller. If you've got RSI, like I do, then after a while the mouse is going to start seeming like the worst option. The controller will probably allow you to play for longer without having to take breaks. In my main game, I've solved 180 something of these puzzles, I think. There's close on 600 from what I believe, so you can be playing for a very long time. So I've got one last one to do. Let's see if we can't find it. Oh, okay. Doesn't this look nice? Kind of want to sit there with a cup of coffee. This one you have multiple exits. So let's just work our way around. Doesn't look like it's any of these. Actually, no, I fell for that before, didn't I? Maybe I should do that thing where you start from the end and work your way back. That's the other thing about this game as well, is you'll frequently solve a puzzle and then literally forget how you solved it a few minutes later. There's a couple of puzzles that require you to move pathways so that you can move from one part to the other. I'm actually going to cheat in this one. I'm going to follow it back from the from the end, and see what I can't see. Oh, actually, this one's different. There's two. We have to do the other one. Oh, we're providing power to things. See, now I can't remember how I did it, because I'm an idiot. Can't be trusted. You just go through it in my head. Right, okay. There we go. Alright, so that should have unlocked our door. Alright, let's... There we go, we're free to go outside, but before we do, now that we don't need this power cord anymore, I'm going to reset that other one back. Sorry if I'm jerking the screen out all over the place in first person mode. Oh. Hopefully it's not making you too sick. I was brought up on shooters like Quake, so the inclusion of a relatively fast run in this game is a welcome sign to me. So now this is where things start to get interesting. You're free to go wherever you want and do whatever you want, as long as you want to solve puzzles. And it's a big place with a lot of puzzles. I'm trying to get a good vantage point for you, but yeah, there doesn't seem to be much. Well, actually we can probably see where that cable went, maybe. Yeah, there we go. It goes over here, opens this door, which leads us to... This might actually be important, I'd forgotten this existed. This might be helping me in my main game. No, I think it's just a way around the outside of the castle. Well, there's this thing. Alright, well this might be interesting because I've never solved this puzzle before. Now you can probably infer a few things about this one. Is that maybe you need to run over the black dots in order to, but you can't cross over yourself. So I'm not sure what the deal is here. We ideally want to end up there last. We kind of started in the middle, so we can't just go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And there's this annoying thing up here. So there's got to be a way to do it. Now obviously that blocks us off. And if we go like this, then we can't get back up to that puzzle. So that's not correct. We could go like that. But then what's going to... Oop, accidentally clicked the mouse button. But then did it again. But then what's going to happen is we're going to run out... Oh, I mean, that's close. We're not going to be able to... So I reckon you have to start here. Because otherwise there's no way to get up here and turn around and come back. Now it's not a... Obviously that's not correct. We could do that, but then yeah, we can't get to that one on the corner. Reminds me of this game I used to have, a board game of all things, where you had to jump blue pegs over each other and remove them from a board, and there was a way that you could do it so that only had one peg left. And this is one of those puzzles, so you have to cross over everything so that you don't have anything left. We can definitely do that. Maybe if we do this, but then we get in trouble here. But then we can do this. Oh, I think we got it. We got it! That's actually live puzzle solving. I haven't solved... Oh, fuck. And that's usually the issue with this game, is that you solve a puzzle and you feel real clever, and then the developer goes, haha, fuck you. Oh, and there's these things as well, which are kind of extra puzzles. I haven't quite figured out what they mean. I've tried sort of circling things. That, no good. Kind of flashes that thing as if to say I should know something about that, which I don't. Not really a lot of movement you can do on this one, actually. So I have to wonder... I mean, you could go up. You can't come back down, though. Well, that's apparently the solution to it, but I don't know why. I'm not going to do that puzzle. I'm going to do as few puzzles as possible, actually, because I want you to do them yourself. I'm just going to show you a few other things about the island. Now we have to run all the way back, because we didn't solve that other puzzle. But that's interesting. Now that I've solved that one, I'll go back and solve it in my main game. All the way back around. There is a fast travel system later on that that helps you move around a bit quicker. That's interesting. I've never been in there before. That's another thing I didn't actually know existed. So as you can see, the puzzles kind of take on a lot of different sort of shapes, and they start easy. Separate black from white. Separate black from white. Separate black from white. Then, yeah, separate black from white. I don't think I'm spoiling anything here because this isn't exactly hard. Separate black from white. And this is how the game teaches you things. Separate black. Oh, okay. Almost fell into the trap. Separate black from white. But later on, it will include elements of... Now this one's gonna fuck me over. There we go. It will include elements of this puzzle mixed with elements of the other puzzle, so you might get one that has the black dots that you have to run over, plus all of this. Separate black from... Oh, maybe not that way. Separate black from white. Around the other way. Okay, so definitely can't go this way, because then what will happen is I will cover the exit. It's not one where I have to... No, see, I can't get it then. Can I? No, definitely can't do that. This might be a tricky one. How do we do this? We need to also pay attention to the fact that there's negative spaces here. I guess spaces that don't have any marks on them, that it doesn't matter if we go around them. The thing might not be to actually separate black from white, but on this one, but to separate white from black and do it the other way. Huh. You know, I've actually solved this in my regular game and I can't remember how. And they'll often do this where they'll give you a pattern you've seen before and just change one thing. And then you start swearing. Because it's so simple and yet so hard. And then you call your wife over and say, I don't understand this puzzle. I've been trying for half an hour. And she says, well, I don't really do puzzles, but why don't you try explaining it to me? And then in explaining it to her, you then find out how to do the puzzle. Which might be the case here. Maybe if I try to explain it to you. So I can do that. And I can do this, but you know, that's, yeah. What have you done? You haven't done anything. We could, we could do this, but then we can't get back around to isolate him out. Now starting options are limited to going this way or going this way. So it starts simply but then gets much harder later on. Well, sorry, it starts simply but it rapidly becomes complicated from very basic sort of foundations. You see, we could almost do it like that if that dude wasn't there. Oh, could we do this? No, because then we're going to have all those guys separated too. I get the feeling I'm close. One of you's probably screaming the answer at me, aren't you? No, that's just silly. Why would we even do that? Right, anyway. That's one for you to work out, because we don't want to spend the whole time here just staring at the one puzzle. And as you can see, the island that you're on is varied and has a lot of sort of different environments. It's beautifully rendered. The water is absolutely fantastic. Let's get to a point where it looks even nicer. Apparently this is their own engine too. So they do some tricky things later on with how puzzles are integrated into the environment, and as a result of that I guess they needed their own engine. You can't jump, which is a bit annoying, so if you come to something that you need to jump off from to get down to somewhere else, you can you have to walk around. The other thing is that everything is important, like the fact that this tree and this tree and that tree and this tree are all different sizes is important, but I'm not going to tell you why. You have to figure that one out for yourself. So now we're in a desert area with a whole lot more puzzles. See, look, puzzles. Puzzles everywhere. If you go back and look, I actually solved one of them then as I was walking past. I gave you the solution, you just have to be able to see it. And that's what's frustrating about this game, is that it quite often says to you, I gave you the solution, you just have to be able to see it, and you can't see it. The game has a habit of making you feel very smart and very dumb at the same time. If Jonathan Blow ever watches this, I love you and hate you at the same time, and I think my wife hates you too, simply because her husband stares grumpily at the screen, trying to figure out what's going on. So yeah, this is a Witness. I first thought the game was maybe a bit expensive, but after seeing the amount of content in it, if you like puzzles, there's a lot to do and a lot to learn. So that's been about 15 minutes, that's long enough. I've got about 14 hours in this so far, and I'm not even halfway, so it's a nice long game, a nice thinking and pretty game. So go out and get The Witness, and feel smart and dumb at the same time.